Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you are joining. So we are so excited to share the latest financial planning capability in ServiceNow SPM with you guys. We have a lot of things prepared for demoing so that you can leverage ServiceNow SPM to manage your financial needs in your organizations. So always begin with safe harbor notice as we are going to have some forward-looking statements in the presentation. So just a safe harbor notice that things may change about them. We have some future webinars and 360 exchanges planned like this in future where we are going to share our great capabilities that we are bringing in for our customers. So please make sure to look up the schedule and register for our future events too. So just some housekeeping. So we are going to save some time at the end for the Q&A. So you can also use the Q&A button in the Zoom for asking any of your questions. We have some co-panelists here who would help answering those questions. And we will also be recording this session, and this session will be shared in the ServiceNow community site for future watching. And after the end of the event, we are going to ask you to complete a short survey so that we can help improve for future events. So just a quick intro about myself. I'm Vinay Kumar Singhu. I'm the Senior Principal Product Manager for Financials and Strategic Planning Workspace in SPM. I've been with ServiceNow for about 3 years. So that's a little bit about me. So let's get started with the webinar. So first, I would like to start with a quick context about what we call as next experience. So as many of you might be aware, we have the PPM legacy product for about more than 10 years, and we have a lot of great capabilities in there for managing your financial needs like scenario planning and investment funding. Uh, but we are moving into something called a next experience, which is a name that we have given for the new interfaces that are being adopted across the ServiceNow platform. And we are doing this to ensure that we offer the best user experience to our users, leveraging the latest technologies in the market. And also we are adjusting the functionalities to ensure that we meet the evolving needs of our customers. So in alignment with that, even financials has got a next experience. So that's what we are going to present today. So it's going to be focused on the financial workflow in what we call as the next experience, which is implemented in the new workspaces that we have created for different user personas. So without further ado, let me get started about financials new experience. So when we talk about the new experience, we didn't want to just make the old experience colorful and just rebuilding everything the same. So we had set a grand vision where we wanted to offer a better experience for our users, not just from visibility perspective, but also from the process. So the financial planning vision mainly stands on 3 pillars. First is to offer great user experience even for non-financial people. Usually project managers are not core financial users. So we want them to be able to easily manage their financials using the new experience. And the second pillar is to streamline the experience for the users with smart assistants and intelligent insights, leveraging the latest agentic AI framework that the ServiceNow platform is offering. And the third pillar is to help users make great investment decisions to ensure optimal financial health for their organization. So these are the three main pillars on the financial vision, and we are ensuring to deliver it by enabling a new financial experience for our project users and also our agile users who wants to track their labor and non-labor costs, uh, estimates and actuals and latest forecasts using the new experience. And then we want to give the real-time visibility into the data from the delivery layer coming from the projects and epics from the uh, waterfall or agile methodologies in the execution layer to the strategic layer. So strategic users should be able to view the data in real time as the project or product managers update these financial data as they execute the projects and epics, and also give them intelligent tools to do investment analysis like scenario planning and also investment funding, leveraging the new agentic AI capabilities that we have in the ServiceNow platform. So this is our overall vision, and we are working towards realizing it, and we have come a long way. We have started about 2 years ago, and we are right now reaching a very exciting stage where we can say that there is a good end-to-end workflow in the new experience coming to financials. So let me go ahead and dive deep into individual capabilities that are coming for financials in the next experience. But before that, we want to run a quick poll to understand like the user group that we have in the call today. So we have launched a poll. So can you please answer where you are in your journey to adopt the new financials experience? Okay.
So when I see around 65% of participation, I would suggest let's wait for another 15 more seconds before we end the poll.
Yep, sure, Shivan. Yeah, at about 68% now, 70.
Yep, another 5 seconds and then we'll end the poll and share the results about where our audiences are.
Sure.
Okay, let me share the results. Then I hope you can see. So if you want to
Yep.
talk, you can. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. So yeah, we can see the results. So about 35% of our attendees have already started adopting the new financials experience, which is a pretty good number, I would say, since we are at the stage of the financials we are currently in. So we hope after this presentation, even the remaining 65% would try out the new financial experience and leverage it in your organization to have a better financial planning experience for your users. So now let's move ahead. So before I dive deep into each of the individual capabilities, I would like to set a little bit of context here to define different terms that we are going to use as we demo the new financial capability. So the first thing is the forecast, which is the forecasted cost of a particular planning item like your project or epic, which is usually the sum of actual costs recorded on the project till last fiscal period and the remaining planned cost starting from current fiscal period and going forward for a selected duration. So if I say this is my forecast for FY25, that means it is the sum of the actual cost recorded till Feb from Jan, and then the remaining planned cost from March to December. And the next term is estimated completion, which is also a forecast, but this term is used when we are talking about the full project duration. So a forecast, an estimated completion is your forecast for the full project duration. So it's the sum of actual costs recorded from the beginning of the project till last fiscal period, especially if it's a multi-year project. It could start from the beginning of the project, which could be in the past years till last fiscal period, and the sum of the remaining planned costs from current and future fiscal periods till the end of the project. And we have estimate to completion, which is basically the remaining estimate from current and future fiscal periods till the project ends. And we have budget, which is actually the approved amount from the portfolio or the investment manager for the project to be allowed to spend. So usually when a project has estimate, it gets a budget approved from the portfolio manager. So the budget is usually used to refer the approved amount that the project manager can spend. So these are the definitions. I hope everybody is clear with it. So let me dive deep into the financials workflow in SPM. Coming to the workflow, this is the optimal workflow that we have implemented end to end in the new financial experience out of the box. So it cuts across two user personas. One is your demand or project manager, and then your portfolio manager. So the workflow starts when the demand manager gives estimated cost for your demand or a project, which is usually of type labor and non-labor. So the labor costs are usually calculated based on the resource plans or resource assignments, and non-labor costs are manually entered. So after the estimates are given, the portfolio manager considers those estimated costs for their portfolio planning exercise to evaluate which demand to prioritize and how much budget to approve. So that becomes the budget for the demand, and it gets populated on the demand or project record. And then as the demand gets approved, it also gets converted to the project, and the project manager starts execution. And once the project starts execution, we get the actuals, and the project manager might reforecast the future estimates, which can be monitored in real time by the portfolio manager to see if the forecasts are within the approved budget or not. And if there are any projects which are going over budget, the project manager can be asked to reduce the forecast to bring within the approved budget. Or if there is a need to revise the budget because there is an actual need to increase the forecast of the project, then the portfolio manager can revise the budget, which then gets populated as budget to the project. And the project manager will continue execution against the approved budget. So this is the end-to-end workflow, which is the cycle which starts with estimates and then approval from the portfolio manager, and then frequent monitoring by the project manager and portfolio manager to ensure that the forecasts are within the approved budget. Now, of course, this is a lot to take from a single slide. So let me split each of these steps individually as we see the demo of the new capability in a live instance. So first, let me start with the first step, which is a demand manager giving estimates for the labor costs for a new demand. So we have an instance here where a demand manager named Paul Martin has submitted a demand. So the demand has financials in the new experience as part of the strategic planning workspace. So I'm going to focus on demoing it from the new experience, but the same capability also exists in the classic experience with the changed functionality. So before I go on to that specific demand, I would just explain the configuration done in the instance. So first, we have something called planning attributes, which was newly introduced in the next experience. And these planning attributes are common for resource management, capacity planning, and financials. So coming to the financial planning attribute, we have three attributes here, which are role, expense type, and employee type. So what this means is the organization has decided to track the labor cost by individual roles and the expense type, which is the resource working on a capital task or or on an operational task. And the third attribute is employee type. That means if the resource, is it an internal resource or are we hiring an external contractor? So these three are the configured financial attributes for this instance, and these attributes are configurable. You can identify which attributes are important for your organization and configure them accordingly. And then we have the rate lines defined as part of the rate model, where there is a defined rate for each role. So we have defined rates for software engineer, designer, and QA analyst. And this demand already has resource assignments created using the new resource management functionality. So there is a designer and a quality analyst and 3 software engineers assigned full time to work on this demand. So of course, this is a high level assignment. So there are no named resources yet, as we are still in the demand phase, and they are entered for some respective duration uh, to be estimated to work on this demand when it gets converted to project. So based on those resource assignments, the demand manager can generate labor costs using the new financial screen. So this is the new financial screen in the new experience for a demand, and it looks exactly the same for a project and also an epic, so that the users won't have a lot of learning curve as they use different screens in the application. So based on the resource assignments, when a user selects generate labor costs, the system looks at the resource assignment done, the number of hours they were assigned to, and the rate that is assigned for each individual role or whatever the criteria that was defined. And it generates cost plans for the unique combination of the attributes that were defined as the financial attributes. So if I just group by cost type, we can see the labor cost plans generated. So we can see that there are unique cost plans created for internal software engineers who are working on a capital task, and similarly for designer and quality analyst. Now, how did the cost plan got categorized as CapEx? Because the demand was identified as a CapEx demand. So you can define the demand as CapEx or OpEx using the expense type field on the demand. And the resource assignments done on that demand picks up the expense type of the demand, and then gets and generates the cost plans with the respective expense type. You can also assign a different expense type for a resource assignment. That is also possible. So instead of defaulting the expense type of the demand, you can even select that this resource assignment is capital and this resource assignment is operational. So that's how you can estimate labor costs in the new experience based on the resource assignments that were done on a demand. So of course, there are a lot more capabilities which we can dive deeper, but in the interest of time, let's move on. So apart from the manual selection of generate labor cost, there is also a scheduled job which is shipped out of the box, which can be enabled in your instance and can be configured to run periodically, probably once every 4 hours or once every day, so that the labor cost automatically gets refreshed based on the changes done to the resource assignments or the new resource assignment getting added. So that's how you can leverage the new financial experience to generate labor cost based on the configurable attributes which are important for your organization. And you can also automatically categorize the labor costs as capital or operational, depending on the resource assignments done on the respective task. And even the real-time adjustments can be done to the cost estimates based on the changes that are being done to the resource assignments. Now, the next step in the workflow is estimating non-labor costs. So a project usually need not have just labor cost. You would need software or hardware to run an IT project, right? So in this example, the user, Paul Martin, belongs to an IT department of a health organization. And this demand is for patient portal UX enhancement upgrade. And they also need some software subscriptions to implement this project and also some cloud storage. So they can add such non-labor costs as well using the new cost plan UI in the financial screen. So let me go ahead and add some miscellaneous costs that are required for this organization as for the time for which this project runs. So I'm selecting the fiscal periods. Hi, Shivan, can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, Vinay, we
Okay,
can.
sorry. There seems to be some connection issue from my side.
Yep, you're audible, loud and clear.
Okay, great. So let me continue. So yeah, let me add some non-labor costs for some miscellaneous expenses to this demand. So I want this to be a recurring cost, which is repeating for each fiscal period. So I'll select it as recurring for fiscal period and select it as a other capex cost type. So I'll select the fiscal period range equivalent to the full demand duration, and I can quickly save it, which then populates the cost plan against the demand. So this is how a user can give non-labor costs estimates to a demand easily from the new experience. So let's move on to the next step. So now the demand is ready with the estimates that was given by the demand manager. And now it's up to the portfolio manager to review the demand and see how much does it cost and how much benefit is it going to give in return, and then make a decision to approve the demand and allocate the budget that the demand manager has proposed. So this is a, as mentioned, this is a portfolio manager action. And we have a sample user here named Megan, who is the portfolio manager for this IT portfolio of the health organization. So I'm going to impersonate Megan and navigate to the strategic planning workspace. So Megan has already created a portfolio plan for the IT health portfolio for the financial year 2025. And I am navigating to the portfolio plan prioritization page. And this is a new financials page, which gives the detailed financial estimates for the demands and projects that are there in the portfolio backlog. I will dive deep into the details of this new screen in future slide, but let's right now focus on the demand that was submitted by Paul for evaluation by Megan. So this is the demand patient portal US upgrade, and this is pending approval for the budget from the portfolio manager side. So we can see that for FY25, it is estimated to take 261K of capital expenditure and about 33,600 for of operational expenditure. And although I didn't show it, but Paul has also given an estimated monetary benefit of 1 million in return for this from this demand. So that's sorry, it's about 800K. So that's a pretty good ROI of about 62% for the money that Megan is going to spend. So she wants to dive deep into the estimates by navigating to the financials page. So in the financials page, this is the new budget allocation view that is available for the portfolio manager, which will enable them to allocate budget for a particular demand or project. So Megan can see that the forecast for this project for FY25 is 494K, and she wants to uh, allocate the budget as per the estimates. So she can enter some amount top down if she wants to give a different amount from the forecasted cost, or if she wants to approve whatever is the forecast, she can choose copy cost as budget, which populates the forecast value as the budget. So in this case, let's say that Megan wants to do incremental budget allocation and only wants to allocate budget for the first quarter to try out to see if there is enough value in this project, and then give the budget later incrementally. In this case, she can change the time scale to quarter and just give budget to the first quarter and approve it, so that the project manager gets whatever is required for the first quarter, and then Megan can further allocate it in Q2 based on how the project progress. So this is how the new financial experience will enable users to follow lean portfolio manager and evaluate the value of the work and give incremental budget allocation instead of directly committing everything upfront.
Vinay, quickly, you are on the budgeting part. There are two questions. Number
Okay.
one, do we have an option to do the budget approval for the multiple projects and demand from a single view, or for now it is going to be from the individual project or demand?
Hmm. So as of Feb release, so just a uh, little bit of context setting. So all of this functionality is being demoed as of Feb release, Feb 2025 release. So as of Feb release, users can only allocate it for an individual demand, but from the portfolio view, they can quickly navigate between the items. But we have an exciting enhancement coming in May store release, which is the financials in scenario planning, which will enable users to allocate budget for multiple planning items at the same time.
And Vinay, maybe on the same line, but the similar question, when will multi-currency be supported in the next experience for financials?
So the multi-currency is on the roadmap. So we are looking at the timeline of maybe end of this year or early half of next year to bring multi-currency in the next experience.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Vinay.
Thank you so much, Shivan. So yeah, let me switch back to the yearly view and let's assume that Megan wants to approve whatever is the forecasted cost as the budget for the current fiscal year. So she can just populate the budget and then select approve budget. And while she is doing that, she can capture a financial baseline of the financial data as of that point of time, so that they can track the detailed snapshot of the financials when the budget is being approved, including the budget information being allocated. So now the budget is allocated, and if we go back to the portfolio financials view, we would be able to see the demand under the budget approved category, patient portal UX upgrade. we can now see that the budget is populated. And as the demand is now approved for budget, it will be appropriate to also convert it to a project. So currently, as of Feb release, users have to go to the detailed demand page and select create project to convert a demand for which budget is approved to a project. But we are bringing in, as part of the May release, through Scenario Financials, we are giving an option for users to automatically convert the demands for which budget is being approved to projects as well. So that is another exciting enhancement that's going to come as part of May release. So now the demand is converted to a project, and let's open the project from the user persona of the project manager who is going to manage the project. So I'm going to impersonate Paul Martin, who is the project manager for that project. So the user can navigate to the project workspace, and under the projects list, they can see the patient portal UX upgrade project, which was converted from the demand with budget allocated. And in this view, they can see that this is the budget allocated to the project against the estimates. And so far, there are no variants because it just got started. So that's how the demand got estimated and approved with budget and converted to a project. So one more important point to note is, in the new financial experience, you can allocate budget not just by expense type, which is CapEx or OpEx, but also by additional categories using the budget allocation by your cost type attribute. So what that means is, if you want to approve and track the cost against the budget with additional details like labor, software, hardware, and the cost type table being very configurable, you can define the categories of your choice by which you want to allocate budget to, and then use the budget allocation view to approve budget and track the latest cost against the budget by detailed categories like cost types. So this is a great workaround if you are looking at tracking budget by additional category apart from CapEx, OpEx, like revenue expenditure or discretion spending. You can use cost type as your budget attribute and allocate budget by those additional categories. So let's move on to the next step, which is the budget got approved. Now the project manager needs to start the project and start tracking the latest forecast. And if you are an existing customer who is familiar with the legacy financials UI, you might be aware of this screen where you can see the planned cost and actual cost and variance between planned and actual by default for each fiscal period. Now that view is a simple view which will enable you to track your actual costs against the estimates which were done initially. But it had some limitations which were raised by many of our customers. So for example, imagine you are a project manager and you are asked by your portfolio manager about, hey, is your project still within the approved budget or not based on the latest forecast? So there was no way the project manager can answer it because it wasn't easy to compare the latest forecast information with the approved budget. And also, if someone asks, how did your forecast change compared to your initial estimate? That was also difficult to answer. And it has some other limitations, like you won't be able to enter your expense line from this screen and also view the drill down of the actual cost. So we have noted all these limitations from the great suggestions provided from our design partner customers and implemented the new experience to overcome these limitations. So let me show the demo of the new financial experience in terms of tracking the latest forecast. So here Paul Martin has a project named Health Data Scanner app, which was started in February, and it already has actuals received for February. And this is the how the latest forecast of the project looks like. So on using the widgets, Paul can see what is the latest forecast for the full project duration, which is the estimated completion, and how does it compare against the approved budget. So Paul can see that there is a slight variance in the latest forecast for CapEx compared to the approved budget by about 1.5K. And also there is a variance under reporting of latest forecast for OPEX. So he wants to drill down what is causing this variance. And the cost plan level details in the grid shows what is the forecast uh, summing up from individual cost plan and what is the forecast of each individual cost plan coming from the actuals for last fiscal period and remaining planned cost for current and future fiscal period. So quickly, Paul wants to see the actual cost related to software engineers. So he clicks on the actual cost number and Paul can see the expense lines created based on the timesheets entered by the users who are working on this project. So this $2,000 was a labor actual cost created from the timesheet submitted by RO Booker. And similarly, you can also review the breakdown of non-labor cost like software by clicking on the actual cost and also add new expense line directly from the side panel. So here, as I have already selected the cost plan, the date and the respective cost plan details are already populated. I can just enter the actual amount from a new invoice that I have got, uh, and then enter some details saying that this is ServiceNow subscription costs and update the state to processed. And voila, I have entered the actual cost for the software for February. Now, this is how user can see the latest forecasted information of the project based on the actual cost. And as Mike Tyson said, we all have a plan until we get punched on our face, right? So based on the actual cost, Paul has realized that the initial estimates that he has given for software costs, they may not be that much accurate. So he wants to quickly reforecast the software costs based on the invoices that he has received for this project for Feb. And he can immediately double click on the cost plan and start updating the future estimates for the software costs using the inline editing capability that is available in the grid. So Paul has now updated the future forecast of the software, and he now realized that the capex costs are going way over by 12K. So he now wants to see like what was the initial estimates that he would have provided when the budget got approved, so that he can track which individual cost plan is contributing to this variance. So Paul can do that using the compare baseline screen. So Paul has captured a financial baseline when he provided the initial estimates in February. So he compares the latest financials with that initial forecast and says compare baseline. So using the compare baseline screen, Paul can not just track the variance between the latest actuals versus the estimates, but also the variance between the latest estimates versus the previous estimates. So the widgets quickly show what was the initial estimate provided and what is the latest estimate and how much is it over and what are the top cost types which are contributing to this variance. And at the individual cost plan level, he can see that uh, for the total scope of the project, the labor costs are have a positive variance, probably because some users have not entered the timesheets. So he makes a note that he needs to ask the resources to submit timesheets to account for their actual costs. And he also makes a note that the software costs have gone way over the initial estimate. So the software costs have gone over by 12K and the hardware costs have gone over by 5,500 for February. So in this way, Paul can easily understand what is causing the variance. Is it the actual cost for past fiscal periods, or is it also the reforecasted future estimates that he has revised compared to the initial estimates that he has given? So in this way, the new financial screen enables user to have visibility into the updated forecast, and also it avoids data manipulation for the users by preventing them to update planned cost of past fiscal periods, and also capturing the financial snapshots using the new financial baseline capability. And it also supports rolling forecasts uh, for improved data accuracy. And we have already seen how the new financial baseline capability enables the users to compare forecast versus previous forecasts instead of just comparing planned versus planned or actuals versus actuals. And this enables the users to also capture the actual cost in the baseline, which was not possible in the classic financial baseline. So the new financial baseline also track the actual cost that are being recorded against the project. And there is also a scheduled job named Create Financial Baseline for Active Demands and Projects, which was delivered out of the box, which can be configured by organization to run at a periodic time. It could be once every month or once every quarter, so that the financial baselines can be created automatically, reducing the manual overhead for the users to capture financial baseline, and also ensuring that the financial data is not lost and there is a uh, track of how the financials are changing from time to time. So as you can understand, the new experience has a lot of prominence on the financial baselines, as that is how the users can track the how the financials are doing against the initial estimates, and also how they are changing continuously as the project gets executed. So I would like to stress once again that as you start adopting the new financial experience, uh, please make sure to enable the job so that you ensure that financial baselines are being captured for your projects from time to time. And also, excuse me, they can also be captured manually by the users using the create baseline button that is available in the new financial screen. So the next step is the project manager. We have seen how they can see the latest forecast and how they can compare it with the initial estimate. But how do they compare the latest forecast against the approved budget? So that is possible using the budget versus cost view that is available in the new financial experience. So here in this case, the user can see that the latest forecast is over budget by 2K overall and 12.5K for CapEx and under budget by 10.5K for OpEx. So he wants to see where exactly is this variance, in which month did it occur. So he can do that using the budget versus cost view. So as the user toggles this view on, the budget view kicks in where it shows a comparison of what is my budget for the full scope, what is the forecast of the projects coming from individual cost plan rolled up by CapEx and OpEx, and how much is the variance between them. And they can review it at fiscal period level uh, through the monthly breakdown. So here we can see that the actuals are under budget by 10.5K for OpEx and over budget by 2.5K for actuals. So here user is able to figure out that the actuals is where I'm going over budget. And uh, they can also compare the budget versus planned cost for future. So here user can see that they are over budget by 2K for uh, each fiscal month going forward from March. So let's say the user understood that they probably are not going to get additional budget from their portfolio manager. So they can quickly revise the planned cost directly from this view by double clicking and modifying the planned cost. So that is another quick capability available for the users to adjust the forecast to bring within the allocated budget. But in this case, let's assume that Paul has a valid reason for why the projects have gone over budget, because the software costs have increased in Feb, and he knows that even for March that's going to be the case. So there is no way he can reduce the future forecast for software costs. So he decides to request his portfolio manager for additional budget. But Megan, being an intelligent portfolio manager, she is already keeping an eye of how the project financials are doing against the approved budget. So she can do that using the new portfolio financials view. So I'm going to quickly impersonate Megan and open the portfolio plan that she has created for IT portfolio. And this is a new financials view using which Megan can easily track what is the budget that I have approved so far to my projects in the portfolio, and what is the latest forecast and how much is the variance. So at a portfolio level, looks like she is doing okay, probably be mostly coming from this clinical data marketplace project, which is under budget. But when she looks at the um, let me refresh the screen once again to see it pulls the right data. Yeah, so she can see that the health data scanner app is going over budget in CapEx by 12.5K. So she has already noted down that the project is going over budget, and she decides to have a talk with Paul to bring it within the allocated budget. So using this new portfolio financials view, the portfolio user can track not just at a fiscal period level. Uh, uh, if the user wants to track it at a quarterly level or monthly level, that is also possible using the changes to the time scale. And let's say you just want to focus on a single quarter instead of loading all the quarters, or if you have a multi-year portfolio and you just want to focus on one particular fiscal year, you can use the time range filter to just focus on a particular time range. And using this view, you can look at the cost and also the benefits data that is available in the column breakdown. So this is how a portfolio manager like Megan can monitor how the projects are doing regarding financials in real time. Now, we know that the health data scanner app is going over budget, and Megan unfortunately doesn't have the buffer that is required for her to increase the budget that is required for this project. So in that case, the other option she has is to reduce the budget from a low priority project and give to a project which has more value. So Megan can see that there is a project named Sustainable Packaging Innovation. So when you look at the priority seems to be moderate, and there is not enough ROI that is coming from this project, probably because this is an operational project. So Megan can quickly reduce the budget or even deprioritize the project uh, to get that additional money. So in this case, Megan wants to revise the budget from 320K to 300K to get that additional 20K that she can use for the other project. And she is also going to send a note to the project manager of this project to reduce the forecast. And then she can open the health data scanner app project and quickly revise the forecast of this project as per the latest, quickly revise the budget of this project as per the latest forecast and give the budget approval to match the latest forecast. So that is how portfolio managers can quickly readjust their portfolio budget to ensure that they are getting the most amount of ROI from their portfolio budget. Just another quick call. So similar to the uh, budget screen at the individual record level, even the new financial screen is supported to show data by cost types. So if you have cost type as your budget attribute, you can track your budget forecast and actuals data by individual cost types, not just by the expense type. So this is something that organizations who wants detailed budgeting can leverage. So that's the end-to-end flow of what's possible in the new financial experience, where we have seen how a demand manager can estimate the cost of a demand, both labor and non-labor, and how a portfolio manager can approve the budget, and how the project manager can review the latest forecast and quickly do the reforecasting and then compare the latest forecast with the initial estimates and also with the approved budget, and how the portfolio manager can monitor what's going on in the projects under her portfolio and then make a portfolio readjustment to ensure that she is getting the most ROI for the amount that they are spending in their organization. Uh, so one last thing is I was demoing everything using demands and projects, but the same functionality is also available on agile entities. So if you are an organization who wants to track your financials on agile epics, be it Scrum or Safe, that is possible in the new financial experience. So what we are seeing is Epic name sales dashboard V2, and you can see the exact same financial screen on the Epic supported on the strategic planning workspace and also on the enterprise agile planning workspace. Um, okay, great. So Shivan, should we move on to the roadmap, or do you think we should take any questions now?
I think most of the things are done. A quick one from Max. What will be the alternative for the investment funding? Just now I got it, so thought of, yeah.
Okay, great. So that's a great question, Matt. So we are incrementally adding the funding capabilities in the strategic planning workspace. So as you can see, you can allocate budget to an individual project from SPW in Feb release. And in May, we are going to have the ability to set your target portfolio amount and allocate funds to multiple planning items, be it projects, demands, or epics, and then approve the funds to the prioritized planning items. So that's going to come in May, which is the first step to allocate budget for in bulk for multiple planning items. And we are going to add future enhancements like funding high level entities like programs, initiatives, or even portfolios, and then allocate funds further down from portfolio to projects. So that is all planned as part of future roadmap, which I'm just going to share. So it's coming in future, and as of now, the plan is to implement that capabilities in the strategic planning workspace itself.
Just one more. Vinay, what detailed reporting is available for export?
So yeah, that's a great question, which I can show quickly. So we have this export capability available in both the record and portfolio financial screen, which will enable you to export all this data to either an Excel or CSV file for additional reporting. So apart from this, we are also bringing in dashboards in May release, which has a dedicated financial dashboard, which will enable you to track the financial roll-ups like budget, forecast, actuals, and monetary benefits by different high-level groups like demands, departments, portfolios, etc. So that is also coming in May. So let me quickly jump on to the future roadmap. So as I have shared already, the next item that's coming in is scenario planning with financials, which will enable portfolio managers to create multiple plan alternatives with different target amounts and different budget values to different demands and projects in your portfolio, and then decide on which scenario gives you the best ROI and then approve it as your live plan. And later, we are bringing in monetary benefit plans into the new financials experience, and also multi-currency capability, like I shared, probably by next year starting. And also for the portfolio managers, we are planning to enable financials on high-level entities like programs, initiatives. So users would be able to see the roll-ups of the estimates on programs, initiatives, and be able to approve funds top down to these high level entities. And also, we are also looking at supporting multiple sources of budget so that you can track for the same project. If you get part budget from IT and part budget from business, you should be able to track that as well. So that is also added as part of the future roadmap. So yeah, just a slide about the next capability, the scenario planning financials. So this is the compare scenarios view, which will have the financial information from the scenarios, which will give a quick overview of how each scenario is performing in terms of budget versus target and the benefits that they are going to get. And then users can decide on the best scenario to approve, so that the items that are prioritized will get the budget allocated and good to start execution. So these are the learning resources which you can leverage to learn about the new financial experience. We have a great quick start guide posted on the community. So please leverage it. It has a lot of details about how you can implement and use the new financials. Probably it has everything that I just demoed today. And also we have a lot of information in the ServiceNow docs page. So I know we are almost at end. So we want to quickly run a poll to see if you are interested in being a design partner for future enhancements to financials. So Shivan, if you can quickly launch the poll, please give your name, and maybe if you just have a single field, just give your email ID so that we can reach out to you if you are interested to be a design partner. So being a design partner usually involves talking about your organization's requirements and giving feedback to the existing functionality, and also the future enhancements designs that we are working on, so that we accommodate your organization needs and make sure that we are building the future enhancements right to satisfy your needs. So the poll is going to be open for a few seconds. I think we are almost on time. So thank you so much, everyone, uh, for joining the session and your interest in the new financials. If you have any questions related to the new financials, feel free to reach out to me through email or through community. So my email is vinay.singhu@servicenow.com. So feel free to reach out to me through email, or I'm also available on the ServiceNow community. I will be happy to answer your questions.
Okay, thank you everyone for your time today. Please don't forget to register for our future events, and we will see you then. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you so much.